Okay, what's up everybody? Give me some love and some comments. All right. Lauren says, love what you do and get everyone's emotions in place. Thank you. If you're jumping on today, leave me some comments, give me some love, some likes, let me know you're here. And as we go through, it's important, even if you're on replay as well, leave comments, questions. That said, I want to talk about getting centered. What does that mean? And why is it so important? Getting centered is a part of getting connected and tuned into ourselves, right? And we can get centered in a lot of different ways. But the central theme of getting centered is actually that we drop into a place of quietness or presence, and that changes how we live our lives. So this is why it's so important, and I talk about this a lot, and I go on about this a lot in the retreats and my programs, is that we've got to have a really great daily ritual or morning ritual that gets us centered. It's what brings us back to center every day, and even having techniques that bring us to center throughout the day, because the reality is that life is happening. It doesn't matter how much you try to control everything that's happening or try to plan things out. Things don't always go to plan. In fact, your soul might have a different plan than what your mind has planned out, right? Who here knows about that happening, right? So that said, we go through our day and we have these different things that happen, and when we get ungrounded, off center, we kind of get into this chaos place, and we're not operating from our truth. We're operating from a place of reactiveness or from the mind. Should I do this? Should I do that? Instead of a knowing from the center of who you are. You guys getting this? So there's a difference between a knowing from your truth, which is being centered, and then there's just going with life, being kicked back and forth, bouncing around, trying to navigate life. So, I have 3 reasons why it's so important that we get centered and why it impacts our life. So first off, when we get centered, when we get present with ourselves, meaning we usually have to slow down a little bit, right? Tune in, feel, connect. When we get centered in who we are, we get centered in the truth of who we are. And so we have to go inward. We have to take time to and space to actually feel and see and experience who we really are. We need to get to know what is our calling, what is our mission, what is your mission, right? Leave some comments below. Do you know what your mission or your purpose is? So we've got to take time to get centered and tune into what is that mission. When we get centered and we take the time to bring presence to ourselves, we then get more clarity on our higher calling in life, our purpose, our passion. That's the first reason. We need to get centered so we tune into what is our truth. Not what your parents told you or your schools or whoever else told you to be, your partner. Who are you? And then we can navigate from that place. So that's the first one. So the first one is getting centered is connecting to your truth. Someone write that in the comments. Getting centered is getting connected to your truth, your purpose. The next part, the second one, is that when we get connected to our truth, we are then able to make more conscious decisions and choices. So instead of just reacting and going from one thing to the next, if we actually come to center and we connect into our truth of who we are, beyond all the conditioning, then we can start to make decisions and choices and show up in a way that's more aligned. So instead of just living randomly on a whim, we actually can start to live from a place of our truth. right? How different would your life be if you actually made choices based on what you love, what you want to make in this life or create in this life? Hi, Sitaram. Hello. So when we come to center, we then can make conscious decisions and be conscious creators, right? We're on this planet to create. So let's create something that's aligned, and that's what fills us up, right? We get fulfilled by sharing our gifts, by creating from our own source of joy. So that second one is about being a conscious creator. So when we become centered, then we create from our truth. And so throughout our day, if we start getting knocked off center, we feel ungrounded, we feel like we're very reactive, we need to take a breath, come back to center. What is my truth? What can I do in this moment that's going to be most aligned? What can I do in this moment that's going to bring more beauty into my life, or that's going to be more aligned? What decision is going to deepen my relationship with someone that I cherish? So the last one is that when we connect to our center is also our connection to divine or source energy or God, goddess, universe, whatever you want to call it. So when we take time to be present and we connect inwardly, we actually are not only connecting to our truth, but we're connecting to the source energy that flows through us and everyone else and everything. And so that is so powerful. That's the most powerful one out of all three, actually. Is that when we get centered, we tune into divine, and we can tune up our energy field, and we are accessing more energy. And so what happens is that we become very abundant in our energy level and our energy state. And that abundance then overflows in our different parts of our lives. So when we have source or creator or divine energy flowing through us, we overflow that in our relationships, whether it's friendships, family, or a partnership, where we come to that relationship overflowing, and then we can light others up, which then ripples out and lights more and more people up. So it's this beautiful overflow that makes the greatest amount of change, actually. So you could be telling people, you should do this, you should do that, you might be giving them advice or trying to fix their problems. But if you're actually just coming with, showing up and being present with them from a place of being centered in a flow of divine energy, that's going to make the greatest impact. Because when we are overflowing, people around us can't help but want to raise up their energy state to meet that. That's just how it works. So then also when we're overflowing from source energy, it also flows through in our work, or whatever you're doing in your life, whether you work for someone or you have your own business. If you're overflowing with abundance of energy, that's going to come through in how you connect with people in work, or how productive you are, how motivated and passionate you are. And so that creates more abundance in your in whatever you're creating or working on. And the beauty is that when we are flowing, when we're full of energy and it's coming from us and out, and we're lit up by it, it lights others up. And it creates more abundance in the energetic field. It creates more abundance in the people that you connect to, because they're lit up. And then they're going to light others up. And so the more we add energy, we create abundance by being a flow of source, the more that abundance comes back around to us and fills us up. So if we look at law of attraction, we attract what we are focusing on. We attract the energy state, things to match the energy state that we're in. What things resonate with where you are. So if you're abundant and you're overflowing with energy, then you can't help but attract that back. And it's amazing, and it works. I know it because I've lived it. And so these are the reasons why we want to get centered. We want to get centered to get to know, who are we really? We have to get We have to connect inward through meditation or breathing or an awareness to get connected to who am I really? And when we connect to that, then we can live a life that's more conscious. And then we get to, so part 2, we get to make decisions and create based on what is true for us, what we love. How different would your life be if you're creating based on the things that light you up? If you're doing things based on what lights you up, not just the to-do list, but making your to-do list based on what brings you joy. So you can start to become more conscious in your choices and actions and awareness when you are centered. And then from there, we're also connecting to source energy when we're getting centered and we're tuning in. Because when we tune into ourselves, we're tuning into divine. Because we are not separate from the universal energy. We are energetic beings. The energy of the universe is what's flowing through us and helping us to function just naturally without having to think about it. So when we tune into ourselves and the true essence of who we are, we're also tuning into the universe. And that's where major abundance flows through, and that can carry through in all of our relationships, our businesses, and so on. Robin says slowing down can be hard when our mind is being so noisy. So that is something, that's a really great comment, Robin, about, well, the mind is always going crazy, right? And we have this part of our human experience is that the mind is always going to be doing something and thinking about something, talking about something. So what do? How do we get that peace of mind, that spaciousness in the mind? Well, the more that we sit in practice awareness, the more that we practice focusing on the space between the thoughts, not the thoughts themselves, the more we focus on the space there, the more we can create that space in our thoughts and awareness and create space for the truth to come through or to expand. Is there anything else that I wanted to share with you guys today? So that is the most important part, is that we have to have a practice. So the daily ritual, or the morning ritual ideally, because the morning ritual is what starts your day. So if you get centered from the moment you get out of bed, then you're setting a really great flow of energy for the rest of the day. So the daily ritual is about getting centered. And so whether that's through meditation, whether it's through dance, music, movement, but something that allows for you to come into your body and bring awareness. Probably the most effective way, though, is through meditation, some sort of seated meditation, maybe with a chant or a mantra, where you keep coming back, bringing your awareness back to the chant or back to the breath or back to your body. And so practicing coming back to the present moment, bringing back to center, so that when you do that in your daily practice, it means that when you go through your day, you are going to more easily come back to center. We have to practice what we want to create in our lives. So we have to practice coming back to center. We have to practice connecting to ourselves. We have to practice speaking from our truth. So that means when you are going to make a decision or respond to someone, maybe take a pause to get centered. This is my truth. I'm going to speak this. I'm not going to please that person by saying what I think I should say. I'm actually going to tune into my center. This is how I'm feeling, this is my truth, I'm going to speak from that. That's a very conscious way to live. And that's how we liberate ourselves from all of the conditioning, all of the things that aren't us. That's how we liberate ourselves, by choosing our truth, by choosing what we want, what we already are, actually. You know, the things you want, joy, happiness, fulfillment, you already have those things within you. You've already experienced those things at some point, maybe in minuscule ways, but you've already experienced them. They already exist, and it's your choice to choose focusing on those things. It's your choice to focus on the things that you love, that you desire, that you want, because they're already there. And when you focus on those, you give energy to those, and then they expand. So we have to practice choosing what we love. We have to practice choosing our joy. We have to practice choosing living from our truth. We have to practice choosing our mission. That's why the daily ritual is so important, because we're practicing us. We're practicing our nature, our true essence. We're practicing being a connection of source, energy for others. So that said, I'll leave you with that. I'll have a short live today. But if you don't have a daily ritual, get on it. And if you need some recommendations, message me. All right, so much love to you all. I love you guys so much. Thanks for being amazing. Go shine your light. You know, if you haven't been shining your light, it's time to step up and shine your light, because that's all you've got in this life is you and your truth and your light, and that's what we all want to see.
Click subscribe so you can get more videos on how to live life with purpose, joy, love, and abundance. Also, check out my website for free meditations and more amazing value. See you soon.